Welcome back to Speaking Spurs with me, Kieran, talking all things Tottenham, giving you the update of yesterday's ins and outs with the club, some international players to talk to you about, and we nearly come through completely unscathed from this international break, which would have been the first time in a long time. So subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I see subscriber count is flying through at the moment, which is great. Don't forget to support it with a like and post your comments below on the videos. So jumping into it, Harry Kane is now 5 goals behind Wayne Rooney to become England's all-time leading goal scorer. So he scored 7 goals in this international break in his 2 games, 4 goals in the last game against the lowest ranked team within FIFA, San Marino, in that 10-0 romp. Look, this is great. After his hat-trick the other night, to then get 4 goals in the following game. Goals are flowing through his veins. I know 2 of them were penalties. We'll see how he gets on when he comes back. But enough about him. Moving on to Steven Bergwijn, who's had an international success. So he's been very much out of the Dutch side. Louis van Gaal is now in charge. He's called him back into the squad. He fires the Dutch into Qatar. Played fairly well, if I'm honest, breaking down the right-hand side, managed to get some crosses into the box. Depay had chances from his crosses throughout the game. Not only did he have that goal to put them 1-0 up in the game, he also got the assist for the goal that killed the game, and he could have actually gone alone. So the ball breaks from a corner. It's Depay that initially, when the ball breaks in the box, headers it to Bergwijn, who just steams down the pitch, isn't caught whatsoever. Then as he approaches into the box, you can see he's got Depay to his left-hand side. Instead of selfishly slotting it home for the 2 goals, he lays the ball off. Maybe a little bit too heavy, but Depay slots the ball home. So we know Bergwijn's looking fit, ready to come back into the squad. So it'll be interesting to see whether Conte uses him against Leeds. What else have we got? Rodon and Ben Davies. So Ben Davies obviously got a goal whilst he's been away. Rodon has had another good international break. He was very impressive on the last one. However, interesting news about Rodon when it comes to transfer news. Don't worry, we're not losing him permanently. Rodon is prepared to go out on loan in January to seek some first-team football. And look, at this stage, I think it's sensible. It's clear to see at the moment Conte prefers Romero and Dyer, with Sanchez being the backup. But with the 3, Ben Davies is out on the left. He's preferred over Rodon and Tanganga. So it could be a sensible move. He does need first-team football to grow, because at the moment there's young centre-backs in plenty of other clubs that are ahead of him in terms of Premier League status, and that's because they're either at weaker teams or they're going out on loan, etc. So I think it is a sensible move. I hate to see him go, but at the moment it looks like in January we're looking for another centre-back, and if he's going to play the 3 at the back with Dyer, Sanchez, Romero and Davies all ahead of him, it's going to make it very difficult to get into that side. Although he hasn't put himself in a bad position with his international displays. Let me know below, what do you think about the Rodon situation? I mean, obviously, I think the majority of us agree he needs more game time. But seeing that he's not, do you think he should go out on loan or remain on the bench as a backup? What else have we got? All right, there's no avoiding it. Let's move on to the injury, the elephant in the room. Romero comes off after 53 minutes for Argentina with an injury. Don't know how serious it is as of yet. There will be testing done today, I'm sure. But yeah, 53 minutes he lasted in that second game. Suspected thigh injury, I think it was, that's been reported. But we won't know till the results come out. Don't know how long it's going to keep him out for. So it could have been the first international break where all our first team stars come back fully fit. Not happened whatsoever. Didn't manage to scathe it. Internationals have just been one of our biggest cruxes at the moment. Livid, disappointed. I feel for Romero. I feel for our defence. However, this does give Sanchez a chance to come back into the side if he is out for a couple of weeks and prove himself. And Sanchez has been fairly impressive in the games that he's played so far this season anyway. I thought very well in the game where he took a nice boot to the face and got a cut. Didn't shy away from any of the challenges after that, did he? So we shall see. What else? Right. Let's talk about one of our young players, Dylan Markande. So you will have seen that he made his debut for Spurs right near the end of a game. He has now continued his run of form within the youth setup. So he's currently playing in the Premier League 2 side for Spurs. He's got Player of the Month in that competition. So he's very much highly rated within the youth setup. That's clear to see. He's been in and around the first team squad in Europe, in cup games, especially in training. And so far, well, in the last month that won him the award, he's scored 4 goals in 4 games. And so far this season, he's got 10 in Premier League 2. And there's been early comparisons to Mohamed Salah and Emil Smith-Rowe. Not bad comparisons, if you ask me. I don't think I'd be too disappointed if I was a youngster, especially being linked to the Egyptian king, which is Mo Salah. He looks like an exciting player, but we quite often have these exciting players that come through the youth academy. It never goes any further. So it's going to have to be a careful journey with Markanday to pick what the next move is. Do we start integrating him more with the first team? Do we send him out on a couple of loan spells? It is one of the trickiest things in football to help the player development. So I don't know where we're going to take him with this one. I feel like Conte would probably give him a chance in and around training as much as he can, see how he develops before a decision is made on that. Now to talk about the big transfer story. This is the one you've been waiting for. So we've been linked heavily with Vlahovic, and it seems like we are front runners in that, and Spurs are willing to break the bank to make him their most expensive signing. Now, we've also been linked a lot with AC Milan midfielder Frank Kessie. It's come out in the last few days that the chances of us signing him, people are saying, are about 20%. So that one looks like it's going down, but there's going to be competition for him anyway. But somebody else we were linked with during the summer, that we haven't spoke about much recently, Weston Mckennie of Juventus, links are surfacing back towards him. Okay, we're expected to put in a bid for him in January. So the 23-year-old has 8 goals and 3 assists from 59 appearances for Juventus, which doesn't read well really when you consider the type of midfielder he is. He's a box-to-box midfielder. You'd expect in a club like Juventus as well, he'd have more goal contributions. However, the way we need to look at it, his best season for Juventus so far came in a season where they were not playing well. They were pretty poor. And he was one of the shining lights within the squad. So if the team as a whole are playing poor, you expect they're scoring less goals, they're creating less chances. So you have to take that into account when you see that, bearing in mind he's young, he would have been 22, 21 at the time. Weston Mckennie, a shining light within that squad. And a lot of things affected it. The formation changed to a 4-4-2, which didn't really suit him based on the way they were playing before. He found his way out of the squad. He's now forced his way back into Allegri's side. So he's versatile. He can slot in anywhere in the midfield, many different positions across there. He is a great box-to-box midfielder, and one of the things I like about him the most is his defensive capabilities. He is very, very good at helping out defensively as well, which is something that you need. Like Conte loves the whole high energy, people working themselves into the ground. Weston Mckennie could be that guy. I feel like Frank Kessie's he's got a bit more luxury about his game, a bit more flair, whereas Weston Mckennie, harder worker, US men's national team player. Yeah. He also makes a lot of forward runs, so he offers support to the attack, which means he's just everywhere on the pitch, very dynamic, a player that we want. The issue with this transfer is he's contracted until 2025. So we know what that means. The ball is in Juve's court, which means the price is likely to be high, which is what makes Frank Kessie such an attractive prospect. But of the two, let me know in the comments below, who would you prefer? Would you prefer Frank Kessie, where you get a bit more flair? Would you prefer Weston Mckennie, where it's more about the hard work? Do we need an extra player with the hard work, considering we've got Skippy and Højbjerg? Would he be the man to push Skip out of the side? Does that halt his development? Is that something that we're okay with? Are we fine with Skip's development being slightly halted because he spends more time on the bench? But the potential move of Kessie or Mckennie could end up with us pushing ourselves a little bit further up the table and having more instant success. So that's an interesting one to talk about as Tottenham fans. Like, let me know below in the comments what you actually think about that, because I'm in two minds. Like, obviously I want us to be successful, but at the same time, I don't want someone like Oliver Skip to be held back and hit a position where he's sitting there like Winksy at the moment, where he's in and out of the side. When he is in the side, he hasn't got any form because he hasn't been playing. And then we're talking about selling another one of our academy stars. And then you have to go out and find more English talent. And the problem is English talent comes at a premium. Comes at an absolute premium. So it's much better that you harness the talent and skills of the guys you've already got around. So it'll be an interesting one. I feel like January is going to be very, very busy for us. Like some people have been commenting when I've posted these videos onto Facebook. We've been linked with like 65 players and whatnot. Of course we have. We're in a transition period. We've got one of the best managers in the world. We've got the best stadium, arguably, in the world. Best training facilities. And we're not performing to the levels we should. So we're going to be linked with players. And Paratici is a man that is constantly doing deals for players, whether it be free transfers, some big player signings. So we're going to be linked with the world and his mate. And we're used to this as Spurs fans anyway. Under Jose, we were linked with everybody in the summer. After he'd had his first season. So, interesting. It's going to be a fun one, but it's great because it means I'll have lots to report on and feed back to you guys. So, yeah, international roundup. Very good for the majority of the players. We're waiting on the news for Christian Romero. Bergwijn looks like he's going to have some confidence when he comes back. That must have felt great, going away, finally being back into the international setup, grabbing yourself a goal and an assist, especially the goal that sends your guys through to Qatar. So yeah, thanks for sticking around today. That is today's update. I'm actually off work today, so if I get a chance for another update, depending on what stories break, because we are in the morning now, which means by the afternoon there might be some more stories. And if that means I only have to do a 5-minute video in the afternoon, I'll do it. I'll bring you the stories. So thanks for sticking around. Don't forget to subscribe, like and comment. Stay safe. And until I speak to you next time, guys, come on you Spurs.